Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 1. Listen, O heavens, and I will speak. Hear, O earth, the words that I say. Verse 2. Let my teaching fall on you like rain. Let my speech settle like dew. Let my words fall like rain on tender grass, like gentle showers on young plants. Verse 3. I will proclaim the name of the Lord. How glorious is our God. Verse 4. He is the rock. His deeds are perfect. Everything he does is just and fair. He is a faithful God who does no wrong. How just and upright he is. Verse 5. But they have acted corruptly towards him when they acted perversely. And are they really his children? They are deceitful and twisted generation. Verse 6. Is this the way you repay the Lord, you foolish and senseless people? Isn't he your father who created you? Has he not made you and established you? Verse 7. Remember the days of long ago. Think about the generation past. Ask your father, and he will inform you. Inquire of your elders, and they will tell you. Verse 8. When the Most High assigned lands to the nations, when he divided up the human race, he established the boundaries of the peoples according to the number in his heavenly court. Verse 9. For the people of Israel belong to the Lord. Jacob is his special possession. Verse 10. He found them in a desert land, in an empty hallowing wasteland. He surrounded them and watched over them. He guarded them as he would guard his own eyes. Verse 11. Like an eagle that rouses his chick and hovers over her young, so he spread his wings to take them up and carry them safely on his pinions. Verse 12. The Lord alone guarded them. They followed no foreign gods. Verse 13. He let them ride over the highlands and feast on the crops of fields. He nourished them with honey from the rock and olive oil from the stony ground. Verse 14. He fed them yogurt from the herd and milk from the frog, together with the fat of lambs. He gave them choice rams from Bashan and goats, together with choicest wheat. You drank the finest wine, made from the juice of grapes. Verse 15. But Israel soon became fat and unruly. The people grew heavy, plumped, and starved. Then they abandoned the God who had made them. They made light of the rock of their salvation. Verse 16. They stirred up his jealousy by worshipping foreign gods. They provoked his fury with detestable deeds. Verse 17. They offered sacrifices to demons, which are not God, to God they had not known before, to new gods only recently arrived, to gods their ancestors never feared. Verse 18. You neglected the rock who had fathered you. You forget the God who had given you birth. Verse 19. The Lord saw this and drew back, provoked to anger by his own sons and daughters. Verse 20. He said, I will abandon them, then see what becomes of them, for they are twisted generation, children without integrity. Verse 21. They have roused my jealousy by worshipping things that are not God. They have provoked my anger with their useless idols. Now I will rouse their jealousy through people who are not even a people. I will provoke their anger through the foolish Gentiles. Verse 22. For my anger blazes forth like fire and burns to the depth of the grave. It devours the earth and all its crops, and ignites the foundation of the mountain. Verse 23. I will heap disasters upon them and shoot them down with my arrow. Verse 24. I will weaken them with famine, burning fever, and deadly disease. I will send the fangs of wild beasts and poisonous snake that girdled in the dust. Verse 25. Outside, the sword will bring death, and inside, terror will strike both young men and women, both infants and the aged. Verse 26. I would have annihilated them, wiping out even the memory of them. Verse 27. But I fear the taunts of Israel's enemy, who might misunderstand and say, our own power has triumphed. The Lord has nothing to do with this. Verse 28. But Israel is a senseless nation. The people are foolish, without understanding. Verse 29. Oh, that they were wise and could understand this. Oh, that they might know their faith. Verse 30. How could one person chase 1,000 of them, and 2 people put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sowed them, unless the Lord has given them up? Verse 31. But the rock of our enemies is not like our rock, as even they recognized. Verse 32. Their vines grows from the vine of Sodom, from the vineyards of Gomorrah. Their grapes are poison, and their clusters are bitter. Amen.